The guardians, psychometrically, of the church are focused on its sensory and judging realities. That is, the physical, practical things, and those things which can be measured, black and white, put on a checklist. These people tend to have the easiest time, especially if a church is established and traditional and has a tradition, becoming fully integrated members, becoming leaders in it. This is because they induce a sense of safety in others about the longevity of those traditions and a sense of security as far as, well, is someone going to get there early and turn on the lights and make sure the heat is on, make sure the chairs are sound, who's going to make the coffee, and who's going to make sure we maintain our denominational credentials, or, that all the things that happen for me to have a church experience occur. As a result, those fractal factors tend to place guardian characteristics in the center, and tend to invest more trust and authority in guardians than in other quadrants. These, in ABSO-grid terminology, are subordinate alphas. They're not change makers, they're not revolutionaries, they're people who want to remind you what the rules are, feel really good and feel really accomplished as a person when they've reminded you what the rules are. These tend to have a place in the church as shepherds, teachers, and administrators. I use the word shepherd very carefully because the translation pastor has made its way quite clearly into church terminology, despite the fact there is no verse that says you have to call the leaders of your church's pastors. But I'm talking about the gifting, I'm talking about the gifts and behavior of that gifting or gift or office. And therefore, as a result, where other quadrants are able to be trusted or entrusted or appointed to positions of authority or ministry has to do with their ability to connect and have relationship with these guardians, which, as you will see, because there's a sharing of concrete language use that becomes partially artisans, and a sharing of collaborative tool use that becomes partially idealists. And you will notice that because there is no sharing of tool use or language with rationals, you will see you have the far the most difficult time in creating that relationship between leadership that's invested primarily in guardians and being able to entrust anything to the gifts of a rational. Furthermore, I would say that, at least in my observation, and these are just the observations of one person with a Bible college degree and a certificate in Myers-Briggs, who's been to a gazillion churches due to a great deal of involvement in music. There seems to be a high preference in the church for leaders that are ISFJ. They tend to have a vibe that I would describe as shy grandpa. Clearly kind of silver-haired, and people defer to him, but he's super quiet. He seems to be there primarily as a symbol, and may or may not get involved when somebody has to put a kind of sociological clamp on some non-guardian. They in many ways are a person that would not get their hands dirty with that, because the image of benevolence and kindness and, grandpa wouldn't hurt a fly is crucial to these people. They've often been purposely dressed by stylists to have a freer, more carefree artisan vibe. Spiky haircuts with the silver hair. Putting jeans on people that clearly feel like they're, uncomfortable in contrast with their dockers. People that embody a bunch of extrovert sensing traits and are being extruded through a, hey, I'm more relaxed than that filter. So, I would say that for the most part, in the majority of churches, provided you're able to tune your introverted sensing and or extroverted feeling into the needs of the church, and I guess to some extent extroverted thinking, you will have by far the greatest experience in terms of engaging yourself with full involvement, feeling like people understand you and your values, and being trusted with leadership and or ministry. If I have blessed you or encouraged you, please like and subscribe.